How have the Cowboys handled the Dak situation?
Comically. Comically, and by the way, Jerry Jones is laughing all the way to the bank. Comically, because they paid everyone on both sides of the ball. Ezekiel Elliott, who had no leverage, like, what was he going to do? We are not, literally, Stephen Jones came out and said, we're not going to reset the market with Ezekiel Elliott. The next week, they reset the market with Ezekiel Elliott in spite of the fact that they didn't have leverage. And now the franchise quarterback, the guy who does everything right, who's the model citizen, who's the model leader, who does, who came a fourth-round pick, who rose and did all these things and never misses a game and is clutch and puts up big numbers, that guy you're going to play cheap with? Now, I think all quarterbacks are overpaid, right? I might actually franchise them. But that's clearly not what they're going to do. They're caving. They already have a $105 million guarantee. So my question is, and it's a rhetorical one, I got an answer. Why? Why do this? And that's why Jerry Jones is laughing all the way to the bank. He does it because we've been talking about the Cowboys nonstop. What would we have talked about if they simply had signed Dak up? Right? What were you going to talk about? They simply would not be in the news enough. But ultimately, the joke's on Jerry Jones if he actually wants to win a Super Bowl, because this stuff is the reason they never do.
Or can I jump in quickly? We're talking about it.
Do you know what we would be talking about today? We'd be talking about them having cap space to sign Byron Jones, who is actually an incredibly important piece of what they want to do defensively and who they are definitively going to lose now because he's going to get a whole bunch of money on the open market on a defense that underperformed last year. So the bottom line of it is we can say Jerry loves the attention, and he does.
Yeah.
And we can say that he wins because we are talking about him. But you know where he doesn't win? His team doesn't win championships. Right. They are 8-8 every single year, and he is part of the reason for that. Because this Dak deal is one that should have been taken care of a long time ago. He should have done him way before he did Zeke Elliott for all the reasons you just pointed out. And as a consequence, it is going to cost them not a sexy piece. See, he likes the big names. He likes Dak Prescott because he's a quarterback. He likes Zeke Elliott. He likes Amari Cooper. But there are guys who actually matter, and one in particular in the defensive secondary. They're going to lose now, Stephen A., and that will wind up hurting them, and that's because they got the order of this all wrong.
Well, I can appreciate your position, Greeny, but the fact of the matter is he was a part of that defense when they were sticking up the joint last year. As far as I'm concerned, everybody's expendable on that damn defense. DeMarcus Lawrence got his money. Where the hell was he, particularly in pivotal moments? So let's remember that. Let me get back to your point, Max Kellerman, about how it's comical. I disagree with you, and here's what I think you're missing. When you look at the Dallas Cowboys, let's understand something here. As unfair as I believe that they are now, they clearly were making the bet. Let's see what you got. Because they were not convinced. It's not like you're treating the Dallas Cowboys as if they knew beyond a shadow of a doubt. We don't want to lose Dak Prescott. We want him to stay here for years to come. We totally believe in him. We're good, but we're going to play hardball. No. They were like, look, man, there's a lot that you haven't accomplished. We need to see. We were lamenting what we saw from Dak Prescott from time to time, even though he's never thrown for less than 65% of his passes. This past season, he did that, threw for 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, etc. We get all of that. But we need that. Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones evidently needed to see. And I hearken back to his rookie year. I know that was a long time ago. It was 4 seasons ago. But I remember Tony Romo's hurt, got the back issue, knee, etc. And for some reason, no matter how well Dak played, Jerry Jones would not move. He was doing everything he could to hold on for dear life to Tony Romo. They always had questions about Dak Prescott. The issue that Dak Prescott should have is, damn, this is not about hardball. These guys never have really believed in me.
Why are they paying him in the end? They're going to pay him.
Because in the end, now, particularly after this season, when you look at the totality of his work, never missed a game, back page.
Oh, you're saying going into the previous season.
Going into the previous season, they had questions.
Oh, wait, I agree with that. But even this offseason, it's taken too long to do this. What are they trying to save, $1 million under the cap? Which, by the way, Jerry Jones is the guy who instituted the cap, really. Why did it drag this long?
He said he didn't want to set records with this contract.
The piece of this that pertains to the franchise tag is whether the collective bargaining agreement passes amongst the players or not will determine whether teams have 1 or 2 tags at their disposal. If the players vote no, which at this moment I think I'm inclined to guess they ultimately will, if the players vote no on the CBA, teams will have 2 tags available. So the Cowboys, for example, could tag Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper. It never made any sense for teams to make that decision before the result of the CBA. So when they pushed the voting on the CBA back to Saturday, it only made sense. I think it was only a matter of time before they pushed back the deadline on franchise tags to Monday, which they have. So Monday at 11:59 is the deadline for franchise tags, and legal tampering starts literally 1 second after that.
But could that impact this at all?
Yes, it will impact it significantly because they cannot afford, they will not be able to, if the CBA passes, they will not be able to tag both Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper. And Amari Cooper, we had Diana Rossini on my show this morning, says the market on Amari Cooper, to use my favorite word, is robust. There will be people out there throwing tons of money.
But we already
at
know
Amari Cooper.
already know what's going to happen. They're going to sign Dak Prescott and franchise Amari Cooper if they don't sign him. I mean, like, that's what they're going to do, and we knew this from the beginning.
The beauty is that Amari Cooper is actually Dak Prescott's best friend. I'm not speaking literally. I'm speaking facetiously from the standpoint that the fact that you know you don't want to lose both of them, you're going to have to franchise one. And the likelihood is that it's best for you to do that with Amari Cooper than it is to do that with your quarterback, because you need so much more from the quarterback than just throwing the football. In Amari Cooper's case, you just need him to run routes and catch the damn football.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
I agree with your analysis about Dak Prescott. They weren't 100% sold on him before the beginning of this last season.
They wanted to see what he did this season.
It reminds me of Kirk Cousins. Whatever people said was good about him, there wasn't a real belief. So they franchised him a couple times, right? But Dak has the leadership qualities. No one questions that. He has the durability so far. Knock wood, that continues. And he put up the numbers. What do you think they think is missing? What's missing?
Me personally, I think that, and this is just my opinion, I think that they look at guys like Tony Romo and what he brought to the table. Tony Romo was a gamer. I still think that Dak Prescott is, but Tony Romo was a little bit better at times, even though the results didn't show that. And I also think, and this is why I called Jerry Jones out about it, despite the fact that he's my buddy. The reality is that if this were Tony Romo, you would have paid him already. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.